Okay, so a lot of people have this notion in their head when they go to a spiritual class or whatever, that that teacher somehow is going to make them feel better on an ego level. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, so maybe it'll help if I just share a story with you, and this maybe will help to explain what I mean. And I first heard this from Dr. Wayne Dyer, a great teacher who I used to listen to all the time. And he shared this one day, and it's called the 4 Philanthropists. So once upon a time, there was a village, and this village was overrun by an invading army. And this army gathered up all the young men who were of fighting age and abilities, and this invading army locked these young men away so they wouldn't have a chance to fight back. And the conditions of their imprisonment were horrible. They had no bedding. They had no, so it was freezing at night. They had no beds to lay on, so very uncomfortable. And they had poor water conditions, so a lot of them were getting sick. And they had very limited food supplies. They were given some rice, moldy rice, maybe some beans, a little bit of bread here and there. But substantially, they were gradually starving. So these 4 philanthropists had it in their minds, each one independently, to do something to help. So the first philanthropist said basically, well, what can I do? I'm rich, so I'm going to buy beds and bedding for all these men. And so he did, and they moved all this stuff into the prison. And now the people who were imprisoned had a comfortable bed, and they had blankets so they weren't freezing at night. And the philanthropist felt like he had fulfilled his mission. And then the second philanthropist was a farmer. And so he did the natural thing, which was he took 20% of his crops and he donated them to these guys. And so they had some more reasonable nutrition going on. And the third philanthropist was a specialist in finding water sources. So he had a well drilled to provide fresh water for these young imprisoned men. Now, the fourth philanthropist, however, was a saint. So, what this fourth philanthropist did was he meditated on the situation. And he looked at the depth of the problem. And he said, what is the real problem here? And so this fourth philanthropist, what he did was, one evening, he contacted one of the main guards there, and he used his persuasive personality to get a key to the prison. And one night, when he had sat up night after night observing the prison, and one night when all the guards were asleep, he snuck up there and he released all of the prisoners. He solved the problem. So, I am not here to make people feel more comfortable in their egoic existence. It doesn't matter how comfortable you get in your egoic existence. Eventually that will change. It is inevitable. There is no possible way around it. I am much more focused on giving you the key to free yourself from what is substantially an egoic prison.